Greetings fellow mayors, this is Captain Obvious, and today in Noyou Port City, we will replace the generic Cloverleaf interchange with a 4-way Trumpet interchange. To start, we will connect the ground level main highway, then work our way to connecting the third highway. That is simple enough to follow. Now we will work with the single loop as with what all Trumpet interchanges have. Then from the sides, I like to create a single one-way lane guide. Now comes the tricky part, which is creating the actual loop. After you've created the first loop, create the second loop parallel to the first loop, then connect it to the main highway to complete the route. This is how a standard Trumpet interchange looks like, but I will add 2 more loops of single one-way lane guides. From this point, we need to connect everything to the northeast highway. From the loops is where all the connections will originate. And by the way, I am currently using Road Anarchy and the roads are set to elevated. Our first priority is to create all the necessary connections before we can determine the road stack. From this point forward, it is all about connecting the roads together with the single lane side guides. This interchange design is classified as a directional interchange where no routes crisscross to each other like a diverging diamond. Directional interchanges are also considered to be the most efficient interchange designs simply because all the routes only merge at the endpoint connecting to the main highway or entering the city. Now that all the routes are connected to each other and go in all 4 directions, it is time to determine the hierarchy of the road stacks. Generally, the roads with the most lanes are on the lowest level, while the single or 2-lane highways tend to be on the upper stacks. All right, let's check out what we have so far. So the main roads, as you notice, is the ground level, and then the next stack would be over the main road, and that would be the other 3-lane highway, while the third stack would be the one-way roads, which has only 1 lane. So basically, this is only a 3-stack interchange. This, however, you notice that it is an elevated highway. But since this is an interchange, not everything needs to be elevated. Roads or highways definitely looks a lot better when they are grounded. So what I'm going to do is I am going to modify the roads, for instance here, to be grounded, and then we're going to change the terrain height. So here's an example where I converted this into a grounded road, and it definitely looks much better. And we could also make this a little more jagged by adding, increasing the height, adding trees and rocks and whatnot. And then this area is not really much for concern. We could always just plant trees to cover all of that. One thing for certain though is we need to make sure that these are closed. Otherwise, we don't want the Sims to, there's like sometimes there's a blue there. I think you can see that. So this blue is something you don't want to appear. Otherwise, the Sims may realize that they are in a simulation. So let's go ahead and proceed by making the others in the same format. All right, let's have a closer look. And yep, there you go. It looks pretty nice, pretty neat. And there you go. This is the one I was talking about. It's the blue pathing, and you see it's really, yeah. Let's not have the Sims realize that they are in a simulation. Just cover that up, or make sure that there's enough soil. That, or we just need to pull back the node. I unfortunately didn't have node controller, so I'm just gonna have to manually create a few nodes. And there you go. That is definitely much cleaner. So now we're safe. All right, I think we're done with all the terraforming, and let's just go ahead and make a rough connection here. This one I am not really too concerned because everything here will be redone anyway. This merge will basically complete the four-way Trumpet Interchange, which is probably one of the easiest interchanges to recreate. On another note, notice how I did not build too close to the border of the map, which is to prevent the borderline appearance when you enter cinematics view. And the final step is to decorate the interchange by adding rocks and vegetation. I mainly use conifer trees, which are the same built-in trees that are on the large boulders. Then I added the high vegetation on the base of the trees that are mixed in with the tiny rocks on the borders of the vegetation. To add color, I added the light green alder trees, and this is basically my go-to combination. This interchange episode is intentionally short, so when someone is looking for an interchange design in YouTube, they can easily find it, and I also have a playlist in my YouTube channel with all the interchanges that I have created. Thank you, fellow mayors, for watching, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel and hit that like button. Put in a comment or two on what is your go-to four-way interchange. This is Captain Obvious. Thank you for watching and for choosing to fly with Obvious Airlines. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next flight.